G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to another video. And today we've got another track walk installment, another track walk we're doing here today at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Group 3. Now the key difference with this one compared to a regular one is it's raining. You can see absolutely pouring rain, which means we are on the racing heavy wet tyres. So this is going to be a little bit different, maybe not so much different, but you know, it's not going to be your typical dry, fast Group 3 lap around here. It's going to be more so just trying to get this car around in the wet. I'm going to give you a lot of tips. I'm going to try my best to try and get the car around here in a nice slow fashion, so I can explain stuff, and then we'll try a little bit of a faster lap there. I've only got a 244.4 there at the moment. I have a 43.7 on my second account, so maybe we can get a 43 for you after we do the track walk here. But I'm going to use some traction control because we're going to be stop-start, and I want to make sure I don't spin out. But anyway, this is the car of choice, Honda NSX Group 3. I've got a lovely Epson livery on it, throwback to the Epson NSX, the GT500 car. But anyway, windscreen wipers on, heavy wet tyres on. Let's go for Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. This is turn 1, La Source hairpin. Your braking point is just there. You can see the barrier, so it goes from close to the track and then it divots in to further away from the track. You're braking just as that happens, so right around here, you've got to jump on the brakes. You're going to be coming up here in, I believe, 5th gear, coming out of the previous corner, and a good tip for the wet, brake in a straight line. And I picked up very early in the wet weather driving that you don't really want to slam the downshifts for engine braking because it can cause the car to slide too deep. So, you know, hard on the brakes, and then right at the end as you're beginning to turn in, do all your downshifts all at once, and that should keep the car nice and settled and try and minimize the time you spend braking. But turn 1, you can take a line like that, and then you're going to be exiting in 1st gear. You've got to be so careful because the car's going to want to wheel spin. I've got the traction to help me this time, but the car wheel spins out of there. Really gentle on the throttle. You want to be 1st gear, 2nd gear, and then hard on the throttle. But this is Eau Rouge, and what I've actually done is driven straight past the braking point. So we're just going to have to do a quick reversing maneuver here. Alright, so you got a couple of braking points here, and the first of which is on your left hand side. The ultra conservative braking point is the 50 meter board. So maybe if you're in the race with some tyre wear, you've got slipstream and dirty air, you probably want to brake closer to the 50, and that will guarantee you get set into the corner pretty nicely. In time trial, and if you really want to push it in the race, you can use the red Marshall box that's hanging up on the right hand side. Just as you pass that, you should be able to get on the brakes, and then the super absolutely attacking laps can be after that red Marshall box there. Right about here, right as you're about to touch this curb, then you jump on the brakes. You've got to be careful about the weight transfer because it can be so easy for the car to lose control up the hill here. But anyway, you're going to be coming up here and you'll be in 5th gear. It's best to try and keep it in 5th because the car is a lot more stable than if you're in 4th, and you can cut the top of Eau Rouge as well, and that gets us through there. Don't run too wide on the exit because you can get dirty tyres or a penalty, both of which are absolutely no good, needless to say. Down the Camel Straight, normally we're braking at the start of the curb on the left hand side, but in these wet conditions here, the 150 is what you're looking for. So normally you're braking at the start of the curb after the 100 board, but in the rain, 150. You can use the one on the right hand side if you like. Obviously, if you're looking for the 150 and you want to pick a point, say, I don't know, when 150 reaches the edge of the screen, I want to start braking. It is important which one you're looking at there, because you can see the one on the right hand side reaches the edge of my screen before the one on the left hand side. So maybe if you're in slipstream in the race, you can brake right as the one on the right starts to touch your screen. But then maybe in qualifying, you can brake just after the left one exits your screen. You've got to be quite careful not to run too deep, because running deep is really detrimental. Once again, you'll be coming up here in 5th gear, hard on the brakes, and then towards the end of the braking zone, do all your downshifts into 2nd gear. Use this curb gently feather the throttle all the way through here. Try and get the car straight so you can get a burst of full throttle before turning it right. Early upshift to third. Get the power down. Try and get as straight of a line as possible down the hill towards Rivage. The next braking point is on the 100 meter board. Oh my goodness, I've driven straight past it. It's sort of hard in the dry. It's really easy to overshoot the braking, and maybe let that be a warning to what might happen in the race if you just brake a little bit too late. But coming into the hairpin, now there's a couple of different ways to do this hairpin. In qualifying, you can probably brake just after the 100. You'll be coming down here, I believe, in maybe third. You might rev bang on third or upshift to fourth. You'll be hard on the brakes. Gently roll off, so gentle because it's downhill. It's a tight corner. You got hardly any downforce on the car. You might exit that in second gear and try and get the car in. Try and get the car lined up so it's straight. You can get a burst of full throttle before turning it left this time. Upshift to third. Get on the power as we head down the hill on the exit here. And that gets us out of that little section here. So next we've got Pouon. You can brake on the start of the curb. Oh my goodness, stop driving past the braking points. And because there's no grip, the car struggles to reverse. But it's all good. Alright, so you've got the start of this red and yellow curb here. What you've also got is the 50 meter board, but halfway between the 50 meter board and the start of the curb, you've got this drain looking thing just here. It looks like a manhole cover. You can use that, and that's actually what I look for. I'm using the manhole cover there for my braking point. So in qualifying, you can brake just on it. In the race, I'd probably be braking on the start of the curb, but I always tend to reference from the manhole cover. You'll be coming down here, I believe, in maybe fourth gear, and you actually want to keep it in fourth. So you want to touch the early apex like that, try and meet the outside, and then bring it back for your second apex. It's just a balancing act between the steering angle and the throttle percentage, because if you got too much of either, you will spin out. Next we have Le Fagnes Chicane. Oh, we almost got it stopped for the braking point that time, but your braking point is the 100 meter board. You don't really have to adjust that one too much, because you can sort of change your trail braking a bit to recover a bit of a late brake. I'm pretty good into this corner. This is a corner I'm quite strong at, and what I like to do, I'm pretty sure I'm coming up that in fourth. I'm going to brake downshift to third, take a late apex here, and see how much it opens up the left-hander. Gently turn in, gently on the throttle, and when I feel like I can start to commit, slowly get onto the power. Alright, so this corner here is quite difficult actually, because I don't have a proper brake marker. This is right around where you're going to start braking, but there's not really a braking point for you to use. So what I do is, as soon as I exit this corner previous, I'm prepared to start braking for the next corner. I don't leave it until I find a braking point. I'm already ready to jump on the brakes as soon as I exit that corner. And what I actually look for is the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps sign. Once I go underneath that, then I'm looking at the light pole on the right. Once that exits off my screen, I sort of wait maybe half a second to a second, you know, not too long at all, and then I jump on the brakes. I'm sort of waiting just a little bit. Once you do a lot of practice, it'll become a little bit easier to kind of judge that correctly. But after the pole on the right, let's say, gently on the throttle, you may be in second or third gear, and then coming into this corner, you're going to be looking at the apex. I don't really have a reference or a turn-in point for you, but you'll be coming at that corner in third gear. You're going to feather off the throttle heading through there. Just keep your eye on the apex. It should help you with getting an accurate turn-in, and that's about all you need. Really important to be gentle on the throttle coming up through Port Frere, this straight up towards Blancharmont. This little left-hander here is easy flat, but don't turn too much because you will oversteer even at high speed. Now for Blancharmont, there is a braking point for Blancharmont now, which I'm sure we're not quite all used to. But on the green part of the AstroTurf there, just on the right-hand side of the white line, there's a lone tyre mark for some reason. A motorbike's driven off into the barrier, I guess. One single tyre mark line. But that's your braking point. Right as you start to get on that, you should be able to brake. Let the rear is going to pivot on you. The car's going to do a little bit of a sort of, it's going to feel like it's turning with its rear tyres, and that should help slide you into the apex and help you get a better angle for the exit here. You want to try and keep a minimum apex of about 195, 200 k's an hour, and that's how you know you've done a good Blancharmont. But then coming up to the final chicane, really, really ultra important to get this braking point accurate, because if you don't, you're going to slide deep and you can lose up to about a second from just braking slightly too late. So there's a few things you're looking for here. The first thing you're ready for is the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps gantry sign heading over the top of the track. That's actually what I look for, and that's what I brake in response to, but it's good here because once we head past the sign, what'll start to become obvious on the road is a white line. So I'm sort of braking after I pass the gantry, but before I cross the white line. If you brake right as you're about to cross the white line, you've gone deep. See you later. But if you brake before the white line, as long as it's after the gantry, around about here is where your braking point's gonna be. And that should help get you into the chicane nice and smoothly. Once again, do all your downshifts sort of later in the braking phase so the tyres don't lock up. You'll be in first gear for here, take a line like this, lift off the throttle, roll the car into the next part of the chicane, and really gentle off the corner. But that's my track walk, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Let's take it a little bit quicker. So right before, or right as the barrier divots in towards the left, take a line like that, gentle on the power on the exit. See, I'm not full throttle until I reach the end of second gear, and then I get full throttle. Heading up towards Eau Rouge Radeon. I'm looking for the red Marshall box, turning in and braking just after I see it. Keep it in fifth, try and keep it tight, and try and get back on the throttle, and, you know, use your track limits to your advantage. You know you've done an okay Eau Rouge Radeon if you're above 200 k's an hour by the end of the curb on the right on the exit of Radeon. So coming up the Camel Straight now, remember, we're looking for the 150, braking just on it on this particular scenario. We're taking it quite conservative this lap, just so I can demonstrate the lines. Just like this, try and get the car straight so I can commit to the throttle for a bit, and then turn it right, early upshift to third, and try and get the power down as we head down the hill. Looking on the left, 100 meter board. So you can keep it in third, or you can keep it in second. Some people even go down to first, which I think is the ultra fast way to do it. But in terms of comfort and stability, second gear is your best friend. And then coming into here, just lifting off, upshift to third. Try and get on the power. The car will oversteer if you're not careful, and that's how we get out of there. Poo on now. Remember, we're looking for the manhole cover. Fourth gear, gently turn it in, and now we're starting to get on the throttle. We're going to meet this curb on the outside, but don't touch the Astro. Balance the throttle, balance the steering angle, otherwise the car steps out just like that. The Fugnes chicane, 100 meter board. I take a slightly deep early phase of the corner, but come back for the apex, see? And now I've opened up the left-hander. The car has just done a little bit of an oversteer there, but then we can commit to the throttle just after the pole on the left. On the right, sorry, after the light pole on the right. And then lift off, turn in, keep it in third, try and just spot the apex. It's like Pouon, you're just waiting for the car to want to settle down, and then we can finally commit as the downforce takes over. We're going to be heading up this straight here towards Blancharmont. Easy flat through the left-hander, and then remember the lone tyre mark, the rear's going to pivot. It's going to set you into Blancharmont, back on the power. Once again, you're looking for 200 k's an hour by the end of the curb. Now, after the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps sign, but before the white line, we get into the chicane quite nicely. So that was a conservative braking point. We're going to go for another lap and see if we can put everything to the test. So I might go a little bit quiet. Gently on the throttle out of there. So that's a 47.8. That's nice and careful. So coming into turn one, just as the barrier goes towards the left-hand side. I've gone slightly deep there, maybe because I didn't do my last downshift. We got a better exit than last time. Make sure we're on -5 brake balance. So heading up Eau Rouge after the red Marshall box. Try and keep it on the inside. Commit to the power. The car is going to walk all over the track a little bit. You've got to try and do your best to catch it. Beautiful. So that's got us down Camel Straight, okay. Now that you want to upshift here. Your brain's telling you to upshift, but don't. All the power is at the end of the rev range, 150 meters. Do all the downshifts late. Try and meet the apex. We slightly miss it there. missed that one too, unfortunately. You can rev bang there. I feel more comfortable with the rev bang because I know I've done a good exit on the previous corner if I rev bang. Manhole cover. We've missed that apex. Let's try and get a good exit. I like to rev bang here too. Let the car roll through the corner. Commit to the throttle. Open up this left-hand portion of this chicane. After the pole on the right. Gently turn in. Gently get on the throttle. Correct any oversteer as it happens. Don't wait for the car to get away from you. Remember, lone tyre mark now. On the brakes, let the car pivot into the corner, meet the apex, get back on the throttle. Try and keep the car settled. After Circuit de Spa, before the white line, that's going to be... We've actually made that apex perfectly. You don't want to brake any later than that. Oh, that's a 44.0. Brand new record. Let's see if we can do one more. Let's get this right. So we got a faster exit on that previous lap, but that's because we went deep. So let's see if we can recover this and get a 43. Oh no, I've gone slightly wide there. That's not going to be good for the lap time. That could give us dirty tyres as well. I think the lap's gone. The car's just got away from me there. Let's finish up this lap. And we'll go for one more. Alright, this is going to be the lap here. We'll try and do it. So that's a decent turn one. We're losing time on the exit because we went deep on that fast lap there. But overall, obviously taking the apex properly is quicker. Alright. Decent Eau Rouge Radeon there. Keep it in 5th. Right, on the 150. We've met that one. $100. Get this, you gotta nail this apex here, get really tight. Gently on the throttle. Sort of similar type of corner to what we did last time. Alright, we're on track here. Just gonna make sure we nail the last part of the lap. Just got it stopped. Beautiful. There you go. There you go. 43.4. That's putting all those braking points to the test. Just doing exactly what I explained. And that's a 43.4, which is, I think, my best lap of the week. So, pretty good that I was able to get that live on footage. I'm going to try and get this edited and out on YouTube as quick as I possibly can. And I do hope that you still have a couple of days left to try this time trial after looking at this track guide to give you some tips, hints, tricks, all sorts of things, bit of a lap guide, braking points, the car to use. Make sure you got your windscreen wipers on so you can see where you're going. But that's pretty much everything. What is on the back window there? That's, didn't quite notice that was on the back window. That's a bit sus. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this track walk up here today, and that means that is it from me. So do hit the like button if you enjoyed, and do subscribe if you'd like to see more videos and streams from me. Do leave a comment as well. Questions, comments, and constructive criticism, as always, very much appreciated. But that's going to be the end of this one today, and that means that is it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching. See you later.